This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Jana Kramer from Wind Down with Jana Kramer. When we were deciding on our appliances for the house, Samsung was at the top of our list. And I love my Samsung appliances, especially because they're so reliable. And with my busy schedule, having reliable appliances has been a game changer. It's no wonder Samsung is the #1 brand for customer satisfaction. That's why I'm excited to tell you all about Samsung's new line of smart appliances featuring their brand new bespoke AI laundry combo. This incredible magic machine washes and dries in one machine, one load, no transfers, no timers, no rewashing needed. New bespoke AI appliances. This is home living made simple. For more information, visit samsung.com/bespoke.
68-minute cycle based on 27-inch combos, based on using a super speed cycle only with a 10-pound DOE load, cotton 50% plus polyester 50%. Individual results may vary based on actual load content.
Saks Off 5th, up to 70% off every day. Summer is officially here. Time to dress like it. From breezy linen and floral dresses to chic sandals and beach-ready swim. Saks Off 5th has the designer styles you'll live in all season long. Plus, shop new arrivals every week. You'll find Alice & Olivia, Valentino Garavani, Versace, Stuart Weitzman, and more. Head to SaksOff5th.com or a Saks Off 5th store near you for up to 70% off every day.
And boom!
Common man, no show prep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, begins a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common man, charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Oh boy! Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello?
You've got to be kidding me!
Rosa, you don't know nothing.
I'm confident that we'll be world champions. That's what I've said right from the start, and I'm still confident of that.
You know, sometimes when you practice, you'll set up chairs. You know, and you run through chairs just to show zones and stuff. The Viking defense looks like it's chairs. All the defensive backs covering are just atrocious today for the Minnesota Vikings.
NFL's nothing but a racket.
You're breaking up, Bob.
You're breaking up.
Multi-action offensive sets.
We're the state of hockey, and I think that proves it, so.
Boy, how disappointing is that?
Let's go.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, hold on.
Jet lag disadvantage.
I've seen enough out of Cousins, Paul. Put him on ice.
Nuts and bolts, we got screwed.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the North. This is the common man, Dan Cole.
So for the longest time, I thought I had African sleeping sickness. Because I'm always tired. I'm tired. And then I realized, well, to have African sleeping sickness, you need to be bitten by a tsetse fly. A tsetse fly, TSE. You have to have been bit by a tsetse fly, and as far as I know, I've never been bitten by a tsetse fly. But I always think I have some kind of I thought I've had stomach cancer before, and remember when my hernia was creating that pain in my stomach. Remember the day that you had to do the show it was.
Yeah.
I'm in here. And the music's playing, the fanfare for the common man, and I'm doubled over in pain, and I go to you, I go, Tina, I can't do the show today. Did I ever do any of the show? Did I come back? Because I went into the performance studio and laid down on, it's not really a couch, even though it's kind of a couch, and I just laid there for like an hour writhing in pain. You had to just take over. What did you do that day, by the way?
I know it's going to surprise you, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember you doubled up in pain.
Yeah. And you,
but I don't remember.
The Tina Fitzgerald.
I'm sure I just said, like, whenever you need someone who can be available right now, like Pat Micheletti's the guy to call.
So you probably
So if you're ever in an emergency, I just say, Micheletti, jump on with me. Let's talk hockey.
But now I think I know what I've got. I have sarcopenia.
Huh?
That's what I have, sarcopenia. It's the word for what happens to muscles as you age. It refers to the progressive loss of muscle mass and strength that occurs with aging. I was saying it was atrophy. I thought my muscles were atrophying. This loss of muscle can lead to reduced physical function, increased risk of falls, and other age-related health issues. Sarcopenia is a natural part of aging. It's a gradual process where muscle mass and strength decline starting around age 30. So I thought it started like around age 66 because I'm 66 and that's where I've really felt it, right?
Well, you're built different, so it takes a lot longer to get to you.
Maybe that's what it is. And it's not just about muscle loss. Sarcopenia also involves a decrease in muscle quality and the ability of muscles to contract effectively. This can lead to decreased physical performance. My golf game is in shambles. I can't hit the ball. I have no distance anymore whatsoever. Doesn't matter how hard I swing. This can lead to decreased physical performance, difficulty with everyday activities, increased risk of falls and fractures, and a greater likelihood of needing long-term care. I think I'm already in need of long-term care. While aging is the main driver, other factors like inactivity, check. Poor nutrition, check. And certain diseases can also accelerate muscle loss. I have no muscles. I can't find them. I'm looking for them right now, and they're nowhere to be found. I'm just a bag of skin and bones is all I am. And so today, I start with, and then my fingers this morning, I could hardly move them because I think my arthritis is really starting to kick in now, right? But I started to panic like I do. And so I said, well, I got to do something to try to reverse sarcopenia or at least slow it down. So I said, now I've got a universal weight system in, there's a bedroom, a guest bedroom down in the lower level next to the man grotto, right? So I really wasn't ready to use this moment. So just to test myself, this morning I said, I'm going to see how many push-ups I can do. Because I've heard that is it called weight resistance training? Sure. Where that if you don't have meat saw or dumbbells available, or barbells or a universal weight system, you can still strengthen your muscles by doing weight resistance. So I decided to do push-ups. How many push-ups do you think I was able? Now, 10 of you got to remember, I do no physical activity except golf. I shovel snow occasionally, but I also have a snow blower. I pull weeds, and that's really about how many push-ups do you think I was able to do today?
7.
I got to. I was going to say 10, but it was 9.5. Because that last one I couldn't even get all the way back up. 10. I couldn't even complete 10 push-ups. How sad is that? How many could you do right now, do you think, if I said go? You could do 20, 30, 40 probably.
No, I could not do 40. I haven't done push-ups in a long time myself. Yeah. I used to a while ago. I could probably get to 25, 30.
Wow.
I got more weight to push up than you, though.
Yeah, that's true.
And longer arms.
Yeah. Well, I'm at my perfect weight. If I was 9 feet, 8 inches tall, I'd be at my perfect weight. So I couldn't even do 10 push-ups. And, I never thought of myself as like aging. I look at Rosen and think, poor guy.
You should be getting advice from Rosen on this.
The Fitness King. Maybe I need to hire the Fitness King because Rosen is stronger at 73 than he was at 43.
He's reverse sarcopenia.
He has. Yeah. He said it. It's called Marcopenia. He's stronger, and I need him to get back here so I can find out what does he do to make himself stronger at 73 than he was at 43. And my golfing is, I can't hit a golf ball. I cried today on the golf course. I tried to hit a 6-iron off the tee, and I could barely make a turn, and I just kind of lunged. I just must have looked pathetic. And the ball, and I smacked it into the tee, and it bounced forward about 20 yards. I hit a 20-yard 6-iron. 20 yards, 6-iron. And then I wept.
Instead of worrying about strength training, why don't you try like yoga? Because I think becoming more flexible might be more helpful for golf than necessarily getting stronger.
Oh, yeah.
So like stretching out the hips and the glutes and the...
Yeah, but is that where you sit in those really weird poses like this? Do I have to do weird poses and stuff?
Well, you can do
What is yoga?
You can do specific yoga. I'm sure there's YouTube videos where it's yoga for golf muscles. And you're strictly just doing yoga for those that would be helpful in your favorite sport. I just
want yoga. Is there yoga to keep yourself from being bedridden at 66 years old? I just want to get up and walk around again.
I mean, you're golfing every day.
Well, I know, but my feet are sore. Everything is sore.
I think yoga in general would help a lot of that.
Well, I
would give it a shot.
My wife does yoga classes all the time. Maybe I should start going with her.
And how's she feeling?
She feels great. She goes at 5:00. I could make that.
And still get into a golf round in after.
Yeah. Well, she does 5 in the evening.
Oh, 5 in the evening, yeah.
She goes to a class. She goes to a yoga class.
Yeah, you can spend some time together. It'd be like a date.
Yeah. A yoga date. So, sarcopenia is what I've got. So, from now on, I sit, when you fill out, if you're going to go to the doctor's office and they have that list of all the things, do you have any of these? And then it'll say glaucoma, cancer, diabetes, all these things. I'm going to have to say other, and I'm going to have to check other, and then write sarcopenia, because that's what I've got right now. I've got sarcopenia, but I will persevere. Tenneby's got a keyword. Peek at the purple next. Lavelle Neal III will join us during the 2 o'clock hour.
Oh, boy.
I'm looking forward to that. So what you got, Tenneby, for a keyword?
And by the way, Lavelle was in studio with Nordo earlier, so he's going to hit a bucket of balls and coming back.
Double duty.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Just enter the keyword money at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is money. Enter now at KFAN.com.
This is Jana Kramer from Wind Down with Jana Kramer. I love my Samsung appliances, especially because they're so reliable. And with my busy schedule, having reliable appliances has been a game changer. It's no wonder Samsung is the #1 brand for customer satisfaction. That's why I'm excited to tell you all about Samsung's new line of smart appliances featuring their brand new bespoke AI laundry combo. This incredible magic machine washes and dries in one machine, one load, no transfers, no timers, no re-washing needed. You just toss in your dirty clothes and they go from dirty to dry in as little as 68 minutes. It simplifies your entire laundry routine. Plus, you can remotely schedule cycles from your phone so you have fresh clothes ready when you are. New bespoke AI appliances. This is home living made simple. For more information, visit samsung.com/bespoke.
68-minute cycle based on 27-inch combos, based on using a super speed cycle only with a 10-pound DOE load, cotton 50% plus polyester 50%. Individual results may vary based on actual load content. SmartThings app available on Android and iOS devices. Wi-Fi connection and Samsung account required.
A treasure trove of bananas has been stolen, and it's up to Donkey Kong and his buddy Pauline to get them back. This unlikely duo is going on a world-smashing adventure, using DK's destructive abilities to explore an underground world, and the power of Pauline singing to activate wild transformations. Donkey Kong Bonanza, available July 17th. Rated everyone 10 and up. Only on Nintendo Switch 2. Game and system sold separately.
This is Jacob Goldstein from What's Your Problem? Business software is expensive, and when you buy software from lots of different companies, it's not only expensive, it gets confusing, slow to use, hard to integrate. Odoo solves that because all Odoo software is connected on a single affordable platform. Save money without missing out on the features you need. Odoo has no hidden costs and no limit on features or data. Odoo has over 60 apps available for any needs your business might have, all at no additional charge. Everything from websites to sales to inventory to accounting, all linked and talking to each other. Check out Odoo at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
Tired of losing weight only to gain it all back? The weight loss experts at SlimRank.com have done the research. SlimRank.com ranks the safest, most effective GLP-1 programs that get and keep the weight off for good. Stop watching the scale go up and down. Go to SlimRank.com and pick America's #1 weight loss program today. SlimRank.com. That's SlimRank.com. Your dream body is just a few months away. SlimRank.com.
And Mall of America's mystery cards are back, and we are bringing them to you all summer long. Come grab yours at KFAN events throughout the summer and wherever you see our KFAN street team. Then make sure to redeem them at Mall of America for fun prizes and big discounts. See full list of events at KFAN.com keyword calendar.
I recently was provided a piece of a copy. For those of you, I think most people, even if you're not in the radio biz, would realize what copy is. It's the script. It's the verbiage you use when you're talking about goods and services in a commercial message. And there was some direction given from the ad agency. They wanted an energetic, confident music bed. What would an energetic, confident music bed? I would say the one you just played.
Sure.
Could you play that again?
Yes, I could.
Yes, you too can eliminate sarcopenia by using yoga. Yogapenia for sarcopenia. Now at Rite Aid, Walmart, and CVS stores everywhere. Confident, upbeat. Also said the delivery for the announcer should be upbeat and direct. Upbeat. So you don't want to go, hi, I've got sarcopenia. That wouldn't be upbeat, right? By the way, Peek at the Purple is brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. If storms are knocking out power in the Twin Cities, your lights are flickering, breakers tripping, Affordable Electric is here to help. Fast, professional, and local. From storm damage to electrical repairs, they have you covered. Call or text 612-331-8658 or visit affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. Affordable Electric, wait for it, is shockingly affordable. There really isn't anything going on in Vikingville unless you have something, Tennessee.
I texted you one.
Oh, you did?
It's
When did you
nothing
send me
huge,
that?
but just that found out that Aaron Jones, running back for the Vikings, number 98 on the top 100 players currently being unveiled by the NFL.
I thought when you were saying 90, his jersey number was changing to 98. But if you'll remember, Tennessee, if you have a single-digit jersey, you look faster. So was that Alec Lewis who came up with that preposterous statement? Who was
Yes, that was Alec Lewis, yeah.
So then when we were chuckling, but we were laughing so hard our sides ached. Our heart went pity pat. It was like watching Felix the Cat. And somebody said, he had some evidence to back it up. There's like a study. I don't believe it. Nobody does a study. Let's see how can an athlete look faster than he really is? Let's do a study and see if the number on his jersey has anything to do with it. It's preposterous. 98th best player in the NFL.
Yeah, that surprised me a little bit. I didn't think he would make the top 100.
That's nice. Peek at the Purple brought to you by our friends at affordable-electric.com. Remember, from storm damage to electrical repairs, they've got you covered. Affordable Electric, and the power is out, they're on. They're shockingly affordable. Affordable-electric.com. This text message says, everything's always moderate to severe nowadays. Moderate to severe Crohn's disease. Moderate to severe plaque. Moderate to severe psoriasis. Moderate to severe anything. You're absolutely right. Yeah. So I either have moderate to severe sarcopenia. How is it diagnosed? Your healthcare provider may diagnose sarcopenia after performing a physical exam and asking you about your symptoms. You may complete a questionnaire based on your self-reported systems called the SARC-F. SARC-F stands for strength. That's the S. A, assistance with walking. R, rising from a chair. C, climbing stairs. F, falls. I don't climb stairs. I take an elevator. So I'm out. So I failed that test, I guess, right? I don't have much strength. I can't hit the ball over 225 yards or 230 at the most. I have no strength left. I don't generally fall, though. Like when I get out of bed, I wobble. Like Lavelle, wobble. I don't need assistance walking, at least yet. The rising from a chair, there's actually a test, Tennessee. The chair stand test. Providers use the chair stand test to measure your leg muscle strength, especially your quadriceps. The chair stand measures the number of times you can stand and sit from a chair without the use of your arms in 30 seconds. Now, but it doesn't say anywhere what's a pass or fail as far as I can see. But I'm going to see. So I want you to start do you have a timer there on your watch? And we'll start. I'm going to do the test. We'll count how many times in 30 seconds I can stand and sit in the chair.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find my countdown with music.
Okay. So I'm sitting in my chair right now.
Okay. Now, that could be a little bit of a dangerous chair because it's got wheels on it, can move around a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'll take my chances.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I wasn't trying to go fast. 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm going to have to go to break now.
So you weren't trying to do that fast.
I know.
Well, I assumed it was you're trying to get as many as you can.
Oh.
Would it determine?
Oh, so we want to go really fast? Okay, let's try one more time. Then I'll go.
Do you need a break first?
No, I'll go as fast as I can. Ready?
Ready? Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The chair's moving. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. And I think I could have done 30. The chair was moving backwards the whole time because it had wheels, like you said.
You sound a little tired.
We did this one. Remember we asked, can you sit down with your legs crossed like you're at a campfire and stand up without using your arms? We did this before on the air. Remember about 6 months ago? I did it at home. I had to work really hard to do it. Then I remember Kara was doing videos of them. And then I fell over and started screaming workman's comp. Because I didn't do it that time. But
So you have to sit on the floor with your legs crossed.
And then stand up without using your arms.
I think that would be a challenge.
But I did it about 6 months ago. And I don't know I don't think that's some be-all, end-all test.
It's testing your core strength.
Right. But it's not like, well, if you pass that, you're going to live. Because it was basically saying, the reason I tried it is because what it said if you can stand up without you, it would help determine how long you're going to live. And I thought, well, that's quite the test. Right? And then if you don't do it, are you worried about dying at any moment at that point then? I don't know, because it didn't say like, well, if you can't stand up, you have 4 days to live or, 4 years.
Well, or you might want to work on it so that you can stand up. Yeah.
So I just did 28 working as hard, and that was with the chair moving backward. Yeah. You were right. It was dangerous. I think I almost missed it one time.
Were you also using that chair as a little bit of a spring on your way up, though? Was it giving you a little momentum? Because it's got a little bounce to that chair.
Yeah,
right? It's not like a flat wooden chair. So you might have been cheating there.
Who says you guys never come up with new content? Here's another. Listening to Common bounce up and down in a chair for 30 seconds. Who says you guys never have anything new to offer? See? And then there was one. I would like the video of Common standing out of his chair on YouTube, please. Wish that was digital. I got my breath back. Why are we breaking now? Probably should have broke right when about halfway through that. Maybe I can fight sarcopenia. Maybe I can, maybe I don't even have it. I don't know. Let's pause and come back. And I need a long pause. And then we'll talk a little distat lat here on the fan.
This is Jana Kramer from Wind Down with Jana Kramer. I love my Samsung appliances, especially because they're so reliable. And with my busy schedule, having reliable appliances has been a game changer. It's no wonder Samsung is the #1 brand for customer satisfaction. That's why I'm excited to tell you all about Samsung's new line of smart appliances featuring their brand new bespoke AI laundry combo. This incredible magic machine washes and dries in one machine, one load, no transfers, no timers, no re-washing needed. You just toss in your dirty clothes and they go from dirty to dry in as little as 68 minutes. It simplifies your entire laundry routine. Plus, you can remotely schedule cycles from your phone so you have fresh clothes ready when you are. New bespoke AI appliances. This is home living made simple. For more information, visit samsung.com/bespoke.
68-minute cycle based on 27-inch combos, based on using a super speed cycle only with a 10-pound DOE load, cotton 50% plus polyester 50%. Individual results may vary based on actual load content. SmartThings app available on Android and iOS devices. Wi-Fi connection and Samsung account required.
A treasure trove of bananas has been stolen, and it's up to Donkey Kong and his buddy Pauline to get them back. This unlikely duo is going on a world-smashing adventure, using DK's destructive abilities to explore an underground world, and the power of Pauline singing to activate wild transformations. Donkey Kong Bonanza, available July 17th. Rated everyone 10 and up. Only on Nintendo Switch 2. Game and system sold separately.
This is Jacob Goldstein from What's Your Problem? When you buy business software from lots of vendors, the costs add up and it gets complicated and confusing. Odoo solves this. It's a single company that sells a suite of enterprise apps that handles everything from accounting to inventory to sales. Odoo is all connected on a single platform in a simple and affordable way. You can save money without missing out on the features you need. Check out Odoo at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
Celebrate the return of football with the Minnesota Vikings at training camp. The fun kicks off on Saturday, July 26th for Back Together Saturday. Score tickets today at Vikings.com/camp.
Passing, throwing, catching. Level 13-14 pass, Common Man program on Comedies 10 to be. Brad, John, Brian, KFAN text line, also known as the Holla Hotline, 64686. This one says, you're not supposed to use a chair. Well, that's not what it says in the test. The chair stand test says providers use the chair stand test to measure your leg muscle strength, especially your quads. The chair stand test measures the number of times you can stand and sit from a chair without the use of your arms in 30 seconds. Doesn't say an imaginary chair. It says from a chair.
Literally got chair in the name of the test.
Correct. This one says, I returned home from the grocery store during the chair sit stand segment. I couldn't tear myself away from the radio. That segment was Stay in the Driveway certified. Here's another one. Top 5 segment of the Grum this year, which is saying a lot. This is the program we know and love and why we faithfully tune in. A++. Thank you for all you do, Kyle from Cottage Grove. Then there's this one. This is the greatest, dumbest show on radio, and we love it. Thank you. You're welcome. It's what we do. We tackle the topics nobody else dares to touch. I thought there was nothing better than list radio. I've been corrected. Sit, stand, test radio is better than list radio. The Grum always so much further ahead of the other shows on the fan. Absolutely fascinating appointment radio. Instead of breaking with controversial Vikings news after the break, maybe you can tease up Common's next agility testing. Maybe we can do that. I think actually, and was suggested also by a text messenger, they should do you're doing the stand test right now, sort of.
I do squats.
Oh, you do that every day while we're on the air. I noticed that.
I do during this long segment. I always stand up. And I do my squats.
And you have your hands full like you're praying that you're going to be able to
the hands don't have to be there. I just do it so I don't hit things.
I thought you were doing it because you were praying you would get back up and not fall down. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can do squats.
Yeah, because we sit all day for a living, so you got to get everything.
Sarcopenia.
You got to get everything loosened up.
I don't have sarcopenia. I couldn't do this if I had sarcopenia, could I? Is this good for you?
Yeah.
I've had enough of that. Someone just said, I miss pencil talk. Because remember, we had a segment a few weeks ago, we were talking about pencils. Kennedy Park guy's been doing push-ups since January 6th as a challenge was on at Knee Neighbor Kennedy Park guy. Currently does 55 push-ups a day. All right. Finally, and one more here. Oh, this one says, this has disaster written all over it. It did, but I was able to get through it.
Now can you do your push-up test? See how many push-ups you can do?
I don't want to put my hands on the carpet on this floor.
I don't blame you.
That's the one problem. There was one other thing I noticed here. It said, how is sarcopenia treated? Physical activity, resistance-based strength training. So what I was talking about, doing push-ups and the like. Eating a healthy diet. That's going to be difficult. My lunch today is leftover sloppy joes, Doritos, and an old-fashioned donut. I would not consider that to be a good diet. But here's the one thing I saw it tend to be. Is sarcopenia a disease? In 2016, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, the FBI, the CIA, the BBC, B.B. King, Doris Day, and Max Busby all declared sarcopenia a specific disease by creating an international classification of disease, 10 code for the condition. Does this mean I can get one of those blue handicap flags to put on my golf cart and drive right up next to the green? Because it's a disease. I don't know. But we'll keep you posted and see what happens as we move forward. Besser, what's his name?
Brock Besser.
He ain't coming here.
No.
He re-signed with Vancouver.
It's a little bit surprising.
Some pretty big bucks, too, wasn't it? Or is that just normal? Wasn't it 7.5, did I see? What was it?
7.5, I think what's maybe surprising, it's over 7 years.
Wow.
So, I think the Wild probably would have given him dollar-wise in that range. I just don't think they wanted to go commit to 7 years.
Right.
Yeah, there's already not a lot of players available in free agency to begin with. So many of them have been traded ahead of time,
right,
or so many have re-signed with their own team that there's not a lot of big names out there right now. And Besser was one of them, especially from a scoring wing standpoint, and he ends up just staying home in Vancouver. So I was convinced once you get to July 1st, it's usually typical that you are then going to go somewhere else. But he must have had a change of heart or something. Maybe Vancouver stepped up their finances in a way that he wasn't expecting.
Well, I think I saw a quote, and I was probably one of the fish. It could have been The Athletic. Bill Guerin talking about the one thing, though, they now have. Maybe you can explain this to me, because I think I understood what he said. Is in the past, because of our salary cap situation, when it came to trade deadline and we wanted to maybe add to the club, we didn't have the kind of do-re-mi to get big name players. Is A, that correct? And B, if we have more money to play with now, this upcoming season and maybe the season after that and after that, I guess theoretically, we should be able to say if we go, hey, we're in this thing, we got a chance to make some noise here, we can go out and get a guy and not just a fourth line wing. We can go out and get a big name. Is that kind of?
I mean, I talked about that yesterday. About last year the trade deadline. Not only did we have both Kaprizov and Eriksson Ek out at the time, so we were on a little bit of a slide, but it's always it's a little depressing when you've got a team that's, for the Wild for a while last year, they were, second best team in the Central Division, right behind the Winnipeg Jets for a long time. But then when you get to the trade deadline and other teams are able to go out, Dallas Stars are able to go out and get a Mikko Rantanen, and the Florida Panthers are able to go out and get a Brad Marchand. And the Wild basically can't address any flaws that we have. That's why they ended up, sending a second round pick for a Gustav Nyquist. So it's a little depressing when you get every single year, regardless of how good your team is, that your team is really not going to be able to make a big push to get a big fish and get better. And that's why I know Wild fans, let's face it, Wild fans have been waiting for July 1st of 2025 for a long time, ever since the Parise Suter buyouts, and thought this is going to be the moment we're unshackled, we're free, we can finally spend some money. And then now that we've hit that point, they really aren't spending a lot of money. But I just think, given the way the market is right now and just not a lot of names available to the Wild, they shouldn't be spending all the way right now.
Right.
And it would be better, as Bill kind of alluded to it, I think he's right in this regard. You never know when big fish all of a sudden are going to be available, right? Like the Florida Panthers were smart when they found Matthew Tkachuk. I mean, that was just a brilliant trade. And they traded one of their guys, Jonathan Huberdeau, for him, who was a good player. When Jack Eichel was available, like, you never know when one of these guys, like, for Buffalo, the name I've mentioned, Tage Thompson. 6 months from now, if Buffalo is struggling again, he might just go, hey, I want out of here.
Right.
And when that big fish is available, do you have enough flexibility in your salary cap to be able to get guys like that?
Yeah.
And the Wild haven't had that flexibility for a long time. And at least moving forward, assuming Bill Guerin doesn't burn the wallet here, which is probably hard to do because, like I said, Wild fans have been waiting for July 1st, 2025 for you to make big moves, and now you're not making big moves. But it would be nice to just have that flexibility for whenever that big fish does, so you can be involved and you can throw the reel out there. You can throw the cast off.
On another Wild topic, at the risk of sounding like I'm a Ducky and Bunny, and again, remember, I am I'm not paying as close attention to the National Hockey League in general, and specifically the Wild, as I once did. I like that Tarasenko move, even though, like you say, he's more twilightish of his career. I mean, his better days and his best hockey, he's got more hockey behind him than he probably has in front of him. But it's a 1-year deal, and it's kind of pricey. Was it 4 or 5 million?
4.75.
4.75. That's not, off the charts pricey, right? But if the guy could be rejuvenated, if he stays healthy, if he does get a connection with Kaprizov because they're both Ruskies, I don't mind that because it's 1 year and and you didn't break the bank and you still have money to spend if something falls in your lap.
That's what I was going to bring it up. Because it's 1 year, I think Russo used this term yesterday. You're kind of punting, right? You're punting that. Well, let's say Tarasenko does show the old Vladimir Tarasenko. Well, then maybe you've got that guy now. If he doesn't, you're committed to him for a year. That money's off the books. You still have the flexibility at next year's trade deadline or next year in the offseason. You still have flexibility to go out and get that big fish that is not available at this current time. So from that standpoint, and it's relatively low risk. Like, we still don't even know what they are giving up. It's for future considerations.
Right.
It was a salary dump for Detroit. Let's face it, it's going to be like a 6th, 7th round pick swap, right? I mean, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
There's no risk there. There's no risk in terms of a year from now that contract's off the books. So it's pretty darn low risk, and if somehow he can get past his sarcopenia that he currently is in the last couple of years, if he can find some way to rosen it and reverse it,
yes,
then all of a sudden you can be a home run.
Marcopenia.
Marcopenia. Tarasenkopenia.
Meanwhile, other sport, bit more money. SGA and the Oklahoma City Thunder have agreed to a record-setting 4-year, $285 million extension. Oh my gosh. That would give him the highest single-season average salary in NBA history. This, of course, is from a person who spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity because the deal has not been publicly announced and likely won't be until the league's moratorium on most off-season signings is lifted on Sunday. ESPN first reported the agreement. They didn't waste any time. Your league MVP, and you've just come off a world championship. I think it's probably money well spent. He seems to be, when I see him in post-game interviews, he sort of has that same demeanor as Steph Curry does. Where it's real, that's the word I'm trying to use to describe it. He's very,
like even keel or quiet confident?
Yeah, even keel, quiet, very, God, what's that phrase I'm looking for? Very measured in what he says. He doesn't go off the handle and cock off, but he just talks. You can just tell that he understands the game and how to play and where he's been, where he's going, where he's at. He's worth every penny, obviously. And I saw that esteemed columnist Jim Suhan wrote a piece over the weekend about what Anthony Edwards could do to try to emulate some of what SGA does. And I think much of what he said was sort of spot on. And, does that come with age? I mean, I sometimes, is there that big of a difference in maturity between 23 and 26? There's probably some. He's been in the league 5 years, Anthony Edwards has, so it's not like he's a newbie. It's been 2 years. But I think there are some things where, and one thing that Sue-Ann said is something that I've been talking about for quite some time now. We talked about it a lot during the playoffs when they were calling SGA, what did they call him? Flopping merchant, free throw merchant, free throw merchant, because he generates foul calls, and in many cases, you could say they're questionable at the least, right? And there are times you go, well, look, he really wasn't fouled there, but he sold it well to the ref. And Sue-Ann was suggesting that maybe that's a facet of the game that maybe Anthony Edwards has to learn. And that's what I've been saying for a long time now, is that if you can't beat them, join them. If that's part of the game, and I know there are people that hate that, and I'm not a huge fan of trying to sucker the officials into, because the pitch framing thing, the pitch framing thing, I don't even care that you try it. I just don't know how if an umpire ever falls for it. You could see a guy do it. I mean, there are the pitch frames that the guy barely moves the glove because the ball is so close to the outside that you barely have to move it. It just moves. So maybe I don't know if there's an art to that. But when the pitch, they
all move it to the middle now.
Yeah, but
if you watch,
right? They move it over, or it's way outside. They're trying to bring it back in, and the ump's probably rolling his eyes and going, "Dude, you're not going to fool me." So same thing with the fouls. If the ref's paying attention, he's not going to give you every one. But that would be something that I think, as long as that's going to be part of the game, until they come up with some way to where maybe the league, maybe they have a meeting with the officials and they say, look, you've got to really pay closer to attention if a guy is just flopping. If he's really now, we've got to start to lessen the amount of calls players get from pretending they were fouled when they really weren't. And until they do that, then you may as well join the club and try to do it right. And so for me, even though I don't have to like it, but I don't know why you would say, well, we're not going to do it. Well, okay, then you're going to miss out on a number of trips to the free throw line. So,
I will find. I think it's going to be fascinating what OKC does moving forward, because how often does this happen? There's a reason it's hard to have dynasties, is because once you win at a level like this, then all your guys that helped you win at that level, they all need to get paid accordingly, right? And so now Shea's making, bags and bags of money.
Here's what it says. It said the exact numbers won't be finalized until June 2027, but it says he would make somewhere around $63 million in the first season and nearly $79 million during the 2030-31 season. That would put him at an average payout of about $1 million per regular season game, if it gets to that point.
But Chet Holmgren is eligible for an extension this summer. He has 1 year left on his contract. He was making 13.7 last year. Or no, he's going to make 13.7. He was making 10.8 last year. He's going to be due a pretty massive raise. Jalen Williams is due $6.5 million this year, last year of his contract. He's also eligible for extension. He's due for a big raise. Lou Dort. He's making 17 coming up this year, and then has an additional year. So, these are all guys that are going to have to get paid if you want to keep them. Now, OKC has so many draft picks over the next 6, 7, 8, 9 years that, because part of what made them good is they had so much depth, and I think the reason they had so much depth because you had all these guys that were young that could all fit into your salary cap. And that part's not going to last moving forward, but they will have the draft picks, I guess, if they can hit on those to supplement the depth standpoint. But they're going to have to make some I didn't even realize that Isaiah Hartenstein is their number 2 paid highest player right now.
Is he really?
He made $30 million last year. So let's just say he ain't going to last there, because they got to sign those other guys.
Well, and that does become the issue, and that's And, it goes back to salary cap leagues. Baseball's the only one of the major four that doesn't have them, and people can complain about it all they want. But, that it does make it more difficult to put a team together because you can't just pay them as much as they want, even if the ownership feels the need to, other than you can go over the luxury tax and go over the second apron if you want to. But then, when it comes to roster restructuring and rebuilding and draft picks and such like that, it affects more than just the bottom line. But you're right. But with those draft picks, because you have so many, if you got three, if you have, you got like the Wolves had to make a decision basically between three guys, right? It was going to be Randall, or Nas, right?
Yeah.
And everybody kind of knew Nah was the odd man out. He just was. The other two guys had player options. They had their own. They both decided to stay. They weren't going to be able to afford Nah, so he's traded. And same thing, the Thunder will probably get in that same situation where they'll go, okay, we got these four guys, one of them's got to go. But if you have draft picks and you can select somebody that fills that need, he's going to need some work first. He's going to need experience, but you still have that guy. That's, in a perfect world, that's what you're looking for.
Well, that's why, people right now for the Wolves are doing we need to get a point guard, right?
Yeah.
And I'm still going, they traded up and drafted a guy number 8 last year. They've invested in that guy. That guy, he needs to be the guy. And if he's not the guy, that's where you can kind of cripple your depth greatly. I mean, this team's always going to the Wolves are always going to focus around, we've got Anthony Edwards, we need to build around Anthony Edwards. You need to hit on, because they probably aren't going to be drafted in the top 10 very often now.
Correct.
With Ant for the foreseeable future.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into the Western Conference Finals every year. That's for sure.
They need to hit on Dillingham.
Yeah. And we'll see if they do. Let's, Ravelli Neal doing double duty. I don't know if he went to go hit balls and come back. He probably went to go have a cigar at Allery's and come back. That's probably what he did. But he'll join us at 2 o'clock. Other side of the break, it's 5-3-4. Tenno, what you got?
Yeah, the Wild have appeared to have dipped their toe into free agency today.
This is Jana Kramer from Wind Down with Jana Kramer. When we were deciding on our appliances for the house, Samsung was at the top of our list. And I love my Samsung appliances, especially because they're so reliable. And with my busy schedule, having reliable appliances has been a game changer. It's no wonder Samsung is the #1 brand for customer satisfaction. That's why I'm excited to tell you all about Samsung's new line of smart appliances featuring their brand new bespoke AI laundry combo. This incredible magic machine washes and dries in one machine, one load, no transfers, no timers, no rewashing needed. New bespoke AI appliances. This is home living made simple. For more information, visit samsung.com/bespoke.
68-minute cycle based on 27-inch combos, based on using a super speed cycle only with a 10-pound DOE load, cotton 50% plus polyester 50%. Individual results may vary based on actual load content.
A treasure trove of bananas has been stolen, and it's up to Donkey Kong and his buddy Pauline to get them back. This unlikely duo is going on a world-smashing adventure, using DK's destructive abilities to explore an underground world, and the power of Pauline singing to activate wild transformations. Donkey Kong Bonanza, available July 17th. Rated everyone 10 and up. Only on Nintendo Switch 2. Game and system sold separately.
Saks Off 5th, up to 70% off every day. Summer is officially here. Time to dress like it. From breezy linen and floral dresses to chic sandals and beach-ready swim. Saks Off 5th has the designer styles you'll live in all season long. Plus, shop new arrivals every week. You'll find Alice & Olivia, Valentino Garavani, Versace, Stuart Weitzman, and more. Head to SaksOff5th.com or a Saks Off 5th store near you for up to 70% off every day.
This is Jacob Goldstein from What's Your Problem? Business software is expensive. And when you buy software from lots of different companies, it's not only expensive, it gets confusing, slow to use, hard to integrate. Odoo solves that because all Odoo software is connected on a single affordable platform. Save money without missing out on the features you need. Odoo has no hidden costs and no limit on features or data. Odoo has over 60 apps available for any needs your business might have, all at no additional charge. Everything from websites to sales to inventory to accounting, all linked and talking to each other. Check out Odoo at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.